Got it.
There we go. Okay. So today is December 15th, 2021, and we're here to do another MAAT session. Today, we're going to talk about holiday stress, sadness, depression. It's something that a lot of people are dealing with this time of year, and we just thought that it would be an important area for us to have a conversation about. And I did not do an agenda, so we're doing this unscripted, kind of.
As all of our other MAAT sessions are, scripted, we right down to the last word we say.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so intros are the first thing. So I am Margaret Major, and I am a registered counseling therapist here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network in Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. I am joined with Vida Woodworth, who is co-host and chairperson on our board of directors. And Kate Matthews is also here. She's behind the scenes, and you won't see Kate, but she's monitoring everything that's happening beyond the video. Yes, we'll put it that way.
She's also our fact checker and
absolutely,
researcher for us, especially on the fly during the show. So
yes,
we may have to for more.
And she's very quick, like very swift. Like before you even get the question out of your mouth, Kate's already got it researched and she's got an answer for you.
Yeah.
I know.
Goodness.
Okay, now, thanks. We need to do our thanks and gratitude, and then we'll do, or am I doing this in the wrong order? I usually do the diversity welcome.
Yes, but you often mention thanking the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia.
Yes.
At some point during the show, so you might as well get it out of the way now.
Okay. So I thank, we thank, as Vida said, the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia for their funding for Project MAAT, the Music and Art After Trauma. Without them, we may not be doing this program. So we always are very grateful to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia. And we're thankful to Emmett for joining us this evening. Thank you for being here, and we're thankful for you for watching. Okay. Now I will do the diversity welcome. I almost went right into my check-in button.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. I've got caffeine on both sides of me here. And all the Swedish berries are gone.
Yes, I'm going to have orange lips because I'm drinking orange pop.
Okay. So we would like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. We welcome everyone here who is a mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, son, daughter, cousin, grandmother, or grandfather. Welcome. We welcome people of all races, tribes, and descents. We welcome your bodies, your minds, and your energy. We welcome all people single, married, partnered, dating, celibate, or involved in whatever sort of relationship is right for you. We welcome gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, queer, two-spirited, and others for whom none of the current labels fit. We welcome your emotions, your joy, bliss, sadness, depression, anxiety, hope, contentment, all your emotions. Welcome. We welcome everyone's special way of understanding and knowing the world, everyone's wisdom, whether it is education that has been learned in colleges, universities, and or the deep and profound school of life. We welcome those living with chronic medical conditions, visible and invisible. We welcome mystics, seekers, and believers of all kinds. We welcome people who identify as activists, community leaders, musicians, artists, group members, and those who don't. And finally, we'd like to welcome the ancestors who lived in this land where we are now. Welcome the spirits of Mi'kmaq, the natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. We'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirits to the space. Everyone, welcome. And thank you for being here. And that's usually where I go into my thanks. Yes, and that's why my agenda helps. Okay, so Vida, let's, here we are 10 days before Christmas Day.
Yes.
It's a bustle out there in the world. How are you doing on this 15th day of December?
Well, you know the truth, so I could either tell the truth or, or make up. No,
You want the honest answer or the polite answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, actually, I mean, other than having had a sore neck, back, and shoulders since, well, for almost 2 weeks now, and now a headache because I think either the pain is causing the headache or my stress about the pain is causing the headache. But other than that, I'm fine. I am more than finished the Christmas shopping part of this time of year. And I think I have, as always, enough to go for another couple of years easily. I always overdo it. And this year, because there's telling people, you know, if you see something that you were thinking of getting for someone, get it, because it may not be there if you go back. So in keeping with that shopping philosophy, I've just been going around buying everything I see. So not that I'm rich, but I mean, the things that I know that my mom was hoping to get for someone or whatever. And so I probably have over shopped a little bit just because of that. But it is true. I was in Truro yesterday, and the biggest store there, that we all know the name of it, has many things in it, including groceries and all kinds of stuff. It just, I said to Mom, it was just like a herd of locusts had gone through, and it really, I don't recall ever seeing that many shelves and that many departments empty before. And a couple of the staff, when I was saying that, said, you know, we don't know when we're going to get stuff. So if you know, I've heard people getting a bit panicked because they haven't been able to get a turkey, or, you know, I guess those are kind of good problems to have, because there are lots of people who are maybe not panicking, but don't even know if they're going to have a meal or a place to live. And so, you know, at this time of year, maybe, or all times of year, it's good to keep that in perspective. You know, maybe you're not going to be able to get that pair of jeans and the kind you wanted, or the sweater in the color you wanted, but the fact that you're able to go and get those things for yourself is a real privilege. So yeah. Anyway, other than that, busy just doing lots of little things and stuff, but I can't think of anything too exciting, although I know we wanted to, and I don't know when you wanted to do this piece, but we had mentioned to Emmett that there might be something coming to Emmett, I assume, overland, might be the Pony Express or whatever. Anyway, Emmett would want to meet the two dear friends that we have. So Margaret, maybe you could go first.
Okay. So these are unnamed because that will be Emmett's responsibility.
Yes.
And these are like a thank you for watching, Emmett.
Yes.
Gift, because Emmett has been here for so many of our episodes, and we just greatly appreciate you being here.
Yes. So this is a winter or Christmas seasonal llama.
Now I can pull back so we can see.
Yes, quite a lovely. And Emmett, so you know all 4 legs are posable. So you can do all kinds of things with seasonal llama. And then I just worried that seasonal llama would be lonesome. So we also have puppet llama, and they can be best friends. And I just looked, the little red tag, I don't know if anybody can read it, but it says,
There's Emmett.
it says "I'm a puppet." And I thought that's kind of a redundant tag to put on, but anyway.
Yes.
So Emmett, these little friends are making their way to you, hopefully in the next day or so. So you'll be able to let us know in the new year what their names are. And they are also, I guess, non-binary puppets.
Yes.
Yeah. So there. And of course, I also in the new year will be probably quite proficient as a ventriloquist then. And I will be doing a couple of performances with some of my puppet friends. Yeah, so Emmett and other people, you can look forward to that in the new year.
You've been practicing, Vida?
I have, and you know, because of COVID, you have to wear a mask and everything. So I asked Mom, you know, can you see my lips moving? And she said no. So I think I'm ready to go. I think it was a really good time, you know, for me to take it up again because, you know, with COVID and things slowing down, I got time to practice. And yeah, and no, my lips, nobody can see them moving. So yeah. We'll look forward to that in the new year.
I do look forward to that in January. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
I have
think
several puppet friends that I've been practicing all their different voices and accents. And so, you know, we could do maybe more than one performance if people are looking, you know, hoping for that anyway.
yes. And next week we're doing it's kind of like a Christmas song, Christmas carol kind of special. We have possibly 4 different guests joining us next Wednesday. Tom McDonald, who was on our show back in April, I believe.
Yes, he was one of our first guests.
Yes, yes. So Tom will be here. Stacy Lejeune is going to play her flute, accompanied with piano by Lee Gilmore.
Ooh.
I've got the word out to a couple of people. I'm looking for someone to do a heavy metal Christmas song. We need a good rockin',
yes,
distorted heavy metal song.
Yeah.
So my brother is thinking about it. There was one person I checked in with. They didn't feel prepared enough. And that might just speak to the pressure that people place on themselves for these sorts of things. But there may be a heavy metal Christmas carol, which we all need.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to have a blues Christmas version too.
It would be, yes.
So we'll see what happens. And I've been trying to learn Christmas carol on the harmonica. I don't know if I can pull that off or not. Maybe I can do the first line, but we'll see next week. I'm looking forward to, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
It will be fun. Yes.
Yes.
And perhaps we'll have a couple of puppets join us then.
Yes.
Singing.
Practice.
Yes, I could practice singing as a ventriloquist. Yeah. I think I'll do that. I can't sing as a human, so why not? As for why not do it as a puppet?
I think something that I'd like to mention before we get into talking about holiday stress and sadness and depression is our auction.
Yes.
So this was the first auction that we had. kind of started with the art submissions that we received for our kindfulness calendar. So those pieces were featured in the calendar, and then the starting pieces for our online auction fundraiser. And we put a call out to the community for donations from local businesses and organizations and artists and individuals. And we were just tremendously overwhelmed with the amount of support and donations that we received. And then when we put the auction up on Facebook, just the support, people making bids, and we're just so immensely grateful for this.
Yeah.
The support in our community. And I think every community needs an organization like this that deals with trauma, violence, and abuse, because it is happening everywhere. But yes, we had some people in today to pick up their pieces. One beautiful piece was A Little Blue, which was by Margot Johnson. And the person who won that was so excited to get that beautiful piece. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that, because there's a lot of power in community, and just feeling supported so much, like throughout the year, but especially during this time.
Yeah. I growing up, I remember hearing, and even as an adult, that it sometimes seems the people that have the least give the most. And, you know, a lot of the people who supported us are just small business people or individuals. And yeah, it's very heartwarming, and I've been joking, but it's true. It's been a wonderful last 3 or 4 weeks, just with people donating items in the beginning, and then as the auction's going on, and people just wanting to support us. And you know, just it's when you see the best in people, and you get to see it, you know, as much as I have in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It is emotional, and I'm a big crier when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm mad, whatever it is, I cry. And I've been doing a lot of happy crying, and I would gladly cry like that all year round if I had to. So yeah, thank you to all of the people. And I know there are people who were disappointed that they didn't know, or couldn't do something for this auction. And I guess for the people who are listening to us, we're hoping to do one maybe in the spring, because we have more than enough people who said you're going to do another one, even before next, you know, this time next year. Let us know, because we want to do something and we want to support it. So we're you know, looking forward to perhaps having a nice spring auction as well. So
yes.
Yeah.
And there's so many organizations and individuals, like I can't even list them all.
Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll shift a little bit. So here we are in the, I was going to call it the madness of the season, but not everybody's feeling that.
No.
Not everybody is feeling the hustle and bustle and the stress and the pressure and all of that of the holidays. But there are a lot of people out there that find this a very difficult time of year for many reasons, because of the conversations that I have the privilege of having with individuals. I hear about that stress and pressure that a lot of people are carrying, but yet they feel like they have to kind of present themselves to the world as if, you know, they're happy and this is joyous and there's no stress. And that's all bullshit, because there's so
Mm.
much pressure that people put on themselves, and they put pressure on each other about this time of year, and what's the expectations about, family gatherings or getting together. And I know COVID's added a whole other layer of stress for people to deal with. There's a lot of family traditions that have kind of, had to go on the back burner because people can't get together and celebrate the way that they are used to, like 3 years ago. The last 2 Christmases have been quite an adjustment for people. And more restrictions are coming into effect here in Nova Scotia this Friday, I think at 9 a.m. They're putting more restrictions in. So how, I'm trying to think of how to ask you this.
Just ask away.
Well, it's like, how do you find that you navigate through the holidays?
It's taken, I guess, it's a lifelong learning curve. Things change in your life and in other people's lives, and as I've gone along and gotten older, yeah, I do it, I guess, gently as I can, and I hope that I remember that it's, this time of year, whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, people get caught up in the energy of this time of year. And it, like you mentioned, some of the traditions that we're used to because of COVID, of course, have changed dramatically, or we can't have them right now. And there are things that happen, illness, and people who've, financial situations have changed, and any number of things can affect the way we experience this time of year. And I guess it's just a good thing that I try to remember that not everybody is where I am with it, and to try and not impose how I think people should feel at this time of year, or how I think, what they should be doing on someone else. And I mentioned to you earlier today that when I was a teenager, I think I was in grade 9, so I was either 14 or 15. I think I was 14. That in one particular year, one of my grandmothers, my mom's mother, passed away on the 2nd of February. And then on the 16th of December, that same year, my other grandmother passed away. And then my mom's father passed away on the 29th of December. And in between that, I had an uncle who died on the Christmas Eve. And there was, so for us, our family, it seemed like Christmas was about grief, and people who we loved dearly were no longer here, and how could Christmas ever be, good again, and who could be happy at Christmas. And I know that year, one of the things that my mom and dad did was they decided that they were going to have, once all the funerals and that kind of stuff were over, that's when we were going to have our Christmas. So they didn't try and force our family to still go through the motions of Christmas during that time. We put it off, and I think it was the week after New Year's or somewhere that we kind of did our little Christmas thing. And I also remember too, at that time, somebody saying, the things that you were used to doing with those people when they were here, you may think, oh, well, we can never do those again, and in that way with them. And that's true. But they also said, you need to find kind of new rituals or new things that you can do, not just in memory of them, but also to give yourself something that you can look forward to. So, just because you used to celebrate this time of year in one way, it doesn't mean you have to keep doing that for the rest of your life, that it can change and grow. And I now find that's really has been very helpful to kind of find a different way of doing the things I used to do with the people that aren't here anymore, but doing it in a different way. So I'm finding this year, even though there's lots of kind of stuff going on around in my family, as it is in many families, and it is going to be really different this year, having that focus on something outside of myself and outside of my family has allowed me to be as excited about Christmas as I have been in a long time. And it's not about what I'm going to get or anything. It's just about, like I said, be witness to people being kind and generous and compassionate. And, when you're able to see that and there's no amount of money you can have that will buy that kind of thing. So yeah, I think you can make any time of year difficult. We all, if you want to look at, a lot of people have lost someone. Sometimes it's at a time of year like this. Sometimes it's right smack in the middle of spring, or it's not really connected to anything. So for some people, any time of year can be difficult. And but when you add on all the pressures that we have, the commercialization of this time of year, and the struggles people are having, not maybe having the same jobs that they had 2 years ago because COVID has affected that, and when children are involved and you're wanting to make it as nice as you can for the children, or for older people, or whatever it is, and people do put a lot of pressure on themselves as well, to make it perfect. And sometimes the most imperfect Christmases in our family are the ones that we have the warmest memories about. The times when things didn't go the way we thought they were going to go. The year Mom we finally broke down and got an artificial Christmas tree, and Mom just told me this week. She said, and I don't know why you and your sister had to go somewhere, but you did. So we left Mom home to put the tree up and to decorate it. And that was not Mom's favorite thing to do at all. Anyway, when we came home, she had put the tree together and she had decorated it, but she had put it together upside down.
Oh.
So it went like all the shorter branches were on the bottom, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger as it went to the top.
Oh.
And of course, we noticed it right away and probably made some comments, and to which she replied, well, you can put it together, tear it down and put it up again if you don't like the way I did it. So, but I mean, yeah, I think we did. We kind of moved to a few branches around, but I think we pretty much left it. Yeah. And, so sometimes when things don't always go the way you wanted or thought they would go, what results is even better than what you had planned originally. So
yeah,
there's still some good memories about those kinds of things. And so I think I can't think, I try not to put too much, try and pack too much in, because often there's not a lot of time. And if you're working, you don't always get very much time off at all. Some people work in places where you get no time off. If you're, a healthcare worker, or someone in one of the, jobs where things have to be operational 24/7.
Yeah.
Just because it's Christmas Day doesn't mean that you get to shut everything down. So, there's a lot of, and again, the pressures of families where, maybe a family, parents have separated and have two different places, and who's going to get the kids over, on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and realizing that you can make Christmas Day any day of the year if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but putting all that pressure and tension around, okay, I want them this time and you should have them, sometimes that letting go of some of that can help. Realizing, okay, well, so what? We'll do our Christmas Day on Boxing Day, or we'll do it on the Saturday after, or the Saturday before, or I'm sounding like it's just that easy, and it's not. But I think sometimes just when you're in the middle of being stressed and panicked about something, take a breath and then remembering that, oh, okay, well, instead of, getting into a heated discussion over this, why don't I just say, I'm going to do it then, and that's when we'll do it, and that'll, we don't have to go there in the conversation. So I know that you've looked up some things, and there's probably several books and things that we could recommend to read at this time of year to try and. But I think there's some basic things that you found that you might like to
Yeah,
share.
you've almost hit on all of them, Vida. You're doing
Sure.
a fabulous job. Did you look at my sheet?
No, I didn't. You read me 2 of the questions on the quiz, but that I didn't actually look at it.
Yes, we need to do this quiz. There's only 7 questions. So the first one is true or false.
Okay.
Declining party invitations is not an option. True or false?
False.
3 points.
Oh, I should keep score.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Number 2. Common causes of holiday stress include money issues, high expectations, and A, turtle doves, B, family and in-laws, or C, mistletoe.
Well, one year mistletoe did create some issues in my home because it was real mistletoe and it fell and we thought the dog ate it.
Oh.
But I think it's the family one.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes. And just that topic, I just keep going to the pressure and the expectations that people carry. In some families, there's conflict. There's tension, there's resentments, there's dysfunction, toxicity in some families. And some people prefer to not socialize with their families, but at Christmas time, you feel like you're supposed to and you have to, and you don't have to.
No.
I tell clients, like, you never have to do anything you don't want to do for the rest of your life. Like, there's consequences to those choices, but you never have to go through that drive-through again if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And even like in the court of law, if you're on the stand, you don't have to answer the questions. There's consequences to that.
Yeah. But
ultimately, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. You might be held in contempt of court, but
yeah, spend a couple of nights with the judge. Not really, but
yeah.
I think that's a thing that it's been what you're saying has been talked about a lot with COVID, because people are saying, well, how can you make me get a vaccine? Well, we can't make anybody get a vaccine. However, the way the epidemic is happening and stuff, there are you have the choice to not have a vaccine. You have the choice to not follow the health guidelines, but there are consequences when you make those choices.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we're all individuals, but when it comes to something like this, the what's best for the biggest group is what we have to focus on. And we do know, that vaccines make a difference and things, and the same as, if you don't answer a question in court, that the judge may not like that. And that when people don't answer questions in court, there is a process and it's called contempt of court, and then there's a consequence. But you're right. It's like, well, every year since I've been an adult, I've had to go back to my parents' house where all my siblings are and have Christmas dinner. And that pressure, like I have to because it's my family, even though it's like hell on earth because of the way your family dynamic is or how it goes. And no, you don't. And that's where I think coming up with that new ritual or that new thing can really help. Okay, maybe it's not good for you to go to that big family meal. So you may decide, okay, I'm going to create this, and this is what I'm going to do at that time that works for me, and maybe help some other people out who are in a similar situation as you were in.
Yeah.
And like getting 10 invitations to Christmas parties over the holidays, or no, you don't have to go to them all. You don't have to go to any.
And it's okay.
Yeah, and you have to live with the consequences of that because, maybe there was a present for you in each and every party, and now you don't. But I mean, if the consequence is something that you're, okay with, and in some cases, the consequences are a really good thing because you don't have all that added stress of having to force yourself into social situations that you're not comfortable in. So,
right. It's kind of like dishonoring yourself in a way when we do that. And I've told clients over the years too. So as I've mentioned before on previous shows, I see part of my role as a therapist is to empower my clients.
Mhm.
So it's their life. They're the expert on their life. I encourage them not to give me their power. And I say, if you wake up some morning and you have an appointment with me and you just feel like you can't make it, that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to come. Like you need to honor yourself, like top priority.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I know that not every therapist has that kind of attitude. Some, if you miss one or two appointments, you may not get back in to see them. And I don't practice that. That's not one of my guidelines that I operate on.
Yeah.
But there is just a short little story, and it kind of ties into family traditions and rituals and maybe things that we carry on through generations that we don't necessarily take the time to reflect on whether this is something I want in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Am I carrying this on because this is what my parents did, or we did back in college, or whatever? Like so this example was there was a mother, a daughter, and a grandmother, and they're all in the kitchen and they're preparing a ham. Have I told you this before?
No, I don't think.
And I can't remember where I heard this. I think a presenter one time years ago shared this story with the audience. And the mother cut off each end of the ham and placed it in the pan and put it in the oven. Her daughter asked, well, why did you cut the ends off? She said, well, my mother always did it, and that's how you cook a ham. So then the grandmother was asked, well, why do you cut the ends off the ham? And the grandmother replied, well, we had to cut the ends off to fit it into the only sized pot that we had. So that cutting the ends off the hams got passed down. No one questioned it or asked why. Or they just accepted that this is what you do to cook a ham. You cut the ends off and put it in the pan.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's such a great example of how we can carry beliefs about things or practices and rituals and traditions, and we haven't necessarily asked ourselves, is this something I want in my life?
Yeah. I was just, when you're telling that, I was thinking as a young woman, old enough, like once I was kind of a young adult woman, the other time at this time of year is kind of New Year's and New Year's Eve, and having a big party or going to a big party, and usually alcohol or that kind of stuff is involved. And I for quite a while, I was I got to find a party. I got to go to a party, and of course, when I was at the party, I got to drink. And how many New Year's mornings did I wake up hungover? Probably not remembering everything I might have done the night before necessarily. And I remember, I don't know what age I was. I was probably in my late 20s. All of a sudden, it occurred to me, I didn't have to drink on New Year's Eve just because it was New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was slow on the uptake, but so I decided I'm not going to drink this particular New Year's Eve, and I didn't. And I still had fun. I still did the things that I wanted to do, and I remembered everything I did the next day, and I felt great, and I could eat whatever we were having for a meal, and I could visit or do whatever I wanted to do. And I have never drank on a New Year's Eve since. And so you can make your own choice. You can make it into whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it makes it better. Sometimes you have to kind of play around a little bit to figure out what works, what you really want to do. But yeah, the old traditions of, yeah, why did we do it? Well, the pan wasn't big enough. Yeah, we had a turkey one year at Christmas that was so big it wouldn't fit in the oven.
Oh my.
So my dad and his best friend got a power saw, and they cut the turkey in half.
Oh.
So we had for Christmas and half for New Year's. But I mean, I don't know if it was the power saw they used. I don't know how sanitary it was, but we all lived through it. So yeah, but we could have carried that on, every year at Christmas, you cut your turkey with the power saw.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe you'll revisit that one.
We might. I do have a power saw that's yet to be used. Maybe Mom and I will do that.
Get it on video if you do.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. So what were the other questions you had there?
Okay. Number 3, which of the following is the best option for easing the pressure of holiday preparations? A, indulging in icing covered pastries. B, working even harder to recreate your grandmother's recipe. I might have to repeat these for you. And C, watching a funny holiday movie or relaxing with people you appreciate.
I think I'll go with C.
Yes.
Yeah. Although I know there were times like over different years where maybe because of who was going to be around at Christmas, we spent more time worrying about the recipe that grandmother had, but yeah, I think just having fun and enjoying yourself and the people that you're, or if you don't have people around, maybe just enjoying your time on your own, and for some people that's wonderful, and it's no better or no worse than anybody else's time. So,
and this kind of ties in to recipe. It's about cooking. It's not about a particular recipe. Have I shared about my brother's birthday cake that I made? Did I ever share that on here back when I was a teenager?
I don't think.
So this speaks to this idea of perfection and how things, gifts, presentation, food, meals, perfection. Everything, the tree decorations have to be perfect. I, being a perfectionist, this is, I'm still a perfectionist. I'm just more aware of it, and I don't hard ask myself near what I used to.
Yeah.
And I can do imperfect things. Well, we all do imperfect things. But yeah, the hard assing isn't there. So when I was a teenager, my brother's birthday, this isn't really a Christmas story.
That's okay.
It ties into perfectionism.
Yeah.
My brother's birthday is in July. It was a hot day. I made him a cake, icinged it. We had to run out somewheres. I can't remember where, but we were gone for an hour or so. And when we came back, because of the heat and the humidity, the top part of the cake, the icing had melted and it slid off. So here on the counter was this, what I considered to be a mess of an imperfect birthday cake for my brother. And I couldn't have it. And I threw the cake out and he didn't get a birthday cake.
Mm.
And I look back at that now and it's like, man, like
Mm.
the pressure and then the consequences of that.
Yeah.
Those were my expectations, that this birthday cake for my younger brother had to look a certain way, and because it didn't, he didn't get one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that some people, like when it comes to gifts and presentation, I think that, and then when you look at marketing and advertising and commercials and
Mhm.
all of that, more weight on pressure on people that it
Yeah.
has to be this way. And if it's not, then it's ruined. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We are very hard on ourselves sometimes, especially when you're trying to, do something for someone and you have this picture of what it's supposed to look like. And when it doesn't turn out that way.
Mm.
Yeah. And you know what, and I'm thinking, knowing a young guy who's probably got an appetite, he wouldn't have cared what that cake looked like. He would have eaten it all.
Oh.
But I mean, it's at the time, you're only working with what you had too. So, and you wanted to do it for him. And
Maybe
yeah,
we'll do a show sometime on perfectionism, because there's so
yeah,
many different levels of it.
yeah.
Yeah, I can get all sidetracked on perfectionism, but I won't. Okay, number 4. Oh, we already talked about this. Some holiday traditions are continued out of habit, not enjoyment.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, number 5. Which of the following options can help someone coping with loneliness around the holidays? A, volunteering. B, impulse buying. Or C, overbooking activities.
Well, I mean, they could all kind of help, but the one that maybe would be a more healthy kind of help without
Yeah.
future consequences, I would say would be volunteering one. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
because not just a good time, like a better time now, but also something in the future that could be lifelong, or at least, helpful, not just at this time of year, but at other times too. So,
And there are a lot of organizations needing extra help. I know again, COVID has kind of, affected
yeah,
volunteer opportunities in some capacity, but like here
yeah,
at a 10, we get emails from people every now and then just wondering how they can volunteer and how they can help out. And there's reward in that.
yeah.
Like
I
if you
mean,
just give an hour a week
yeah,
to something, there's
yeah.
reward in that for you.
And the people who donated to our auction, or took the time to even just look at the auction, or were bidding on the auction, all of those things are contribute to your well-being, but also to supporting the work that we're doing. And it's the same with, like, you may not be able to go to a soup kitchen and serve Christmas dinner Christmas Day because of COVID restrictions, but other people have said, well, we called and we offered to cook, all the carrots and, bring them down because they're doing takeout kinds of things, or they found other ways to do the same kind of thing, or they found other things that are just as helpful and meaningful, that they hadn't thought of because they were always doing the one kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, helping someone, I think for me, has been a great way to especially at a time like this, a time of year like this, but just a great way to help my mental health and help me feel better when I'm, all the time, not just when I'm struggling, but sometimes you might be, like today, we were talking about cranky, I'm cranky because I'm in pain. And my mom said, well, why don't you just stay home? And well, I could have done that, but I still would have been in pain. And then I probably would have been thinking, oh God, Margaret's there all by herself and Kate's off in her thing. So for me, it actually is helpful to be here doing it because I'm not thinking about how much my neck's hurting at the moment. So it's the same kind of thing. You're not maybe thinking about how lonely you are as much when you're doing something, knowing that it's going to be someone else. And even though they're not in the room with you, you feel that connection. I matter. And I'm letting someone else know that they matter.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 6, 6:53 already.
Oh, Margaret.
I know.
Here we were.
I didn't even get to page 2.
I know.
I've got 5 pages here, Vina. Okay. Which of the following is the best way to avoid being overwhelmed? A, consolidate activities. B, say no graciously. C, both A and B.
A and B, or C. Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consolidate.
And say no. And sometimes that's really hard. But it in the end it helps you, but it also helps the person that if you had said yes to them, it may not have turned out the way they would have hoped either because you were doing it without being in it 100% or resenting being there or whatever. Sometimes it's better to just say no, and then they may find another person who's ready to be able to do whatever it is.
And learning how to say no is a process.
Yeah.
It took me a lot of practice to be able to start saying no to people. And then when you do learn how to say no to people, there's not carrying the weight of their disappointment if you disappoint them. There's letting that go as well.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7. Having someone to talk to about your stress can be helpful. True or false?
True. Yeah. It's not always easy, but it definitely me and from pretty much anybody I've ever talked to who's shared that, it does help. Talking is probably one of the best things you can do to help yourself. And it's not that the person you're talking to is going to give you all the answers. They're probably not going to do that. But if they're really good at listening, you're talking to them. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
it just releases a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and we all need that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I mean, I certainly, I'll call you up when I need to and ask you if you've got a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. As the old saying goes, every therapist needs a therapist.
Oh,
but it doesn't have to be that formal. I mean, everybody at some point in their life probably needs someone to listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that again, like all our topics we touch on, we could do a whole show just on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a list here, and we've already kind of talked about a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You've even said it word for word as it's written down on paper.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe our minds are,
Maybe after we're mind melding like the on Star Trek. Oh, Spock.
Oh, I'm not
Yes,
familiar with that.
you could do the mind meld where you could kind of think what the other person was thinking. Maybe we're doing that.
Yes.
Or maybe Sean somehow, when he was talking about, maybe we
Maybe.
are more connected than we knew. I don't know why I'm doing all this tonight, but oh, because I'm practicing my fingers with the puppets.
Yes. When you said the Star Trek reference, I didn't watch Star Trek, and I remember doing my my honors degree in psych. I also did a major in philosophy, and I was having a conversation with one of my philosophy professors, and he looked at me and he said, "Margaret, that's just always going to be a contention between you and I." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "You didn't watch Star Trek."
Yes, and I'm old enough to have actually been alive when the original there with William Shatner,
Yeah.
Captain Kirk, and when those were on TV, and then of course all the different variations. Stop moving my hands. All the different variations that we've had since then, and there's a lot. It's a deep show. Like
Yeah,
it
it's very philosophical.
it was the first time that the actress who played Uhuru, I can't say, all the Star Trek people will be upset. She was the first, it was the first time a Black woman had been kind of in a lead role. She was one of the officers on the deck of the Enterprise, and that had, it was usually always men and they were always white.
Mhm.
When they came across the different planets and the different living things that were there, they were different than humans. And then, so diversity was in it. And then they would explore relationships with the people that were on the Enterprise, and some of the living beings they came across. So not interracial necessarily, but interspecies, not even interspecies, but just kind of the idea
Yeah.
of a man and a woman relationship not necessarily being the only thing. And that was back in the 60s.
Yeah,
And
way to go, Star Trek.
for that time, and then, and of course that's continued
Yeah.
in what they're doing and stuff. But, when you think about it, Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, was very forward future thinking, not just in space, but just in presenting things that maybe other people had never seen or thought about before. And yeah, so
Yeah.
I dived onto a Star Trek story. Jane would be proud. She was a big Trekkie fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I can't even remember why I started talking about that, Margaret.
I made a Star Trek comment. Maybe.
Okay. Oh, with your professor, that's why.
Our minds melding. That's
Yes,
how.
mind meld.
Yes. There we go. Okay, so some of these, this is kind of just going to be a quick rundown of these reminders. Acknowledge your feelings. If you're feeling sad during the holidays or Christmas time, that is okay. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Talk to somebody or write about it. Be creative. Do a painting or a drawing, or color a picture, do a puzzle.
Listen to music.
Make snow angels.
Yeah.
Yes, music. Listen to music, make music, sing music. Acknowledging feelings. That could be a whole show too, because that's not so easy for some people, especially when your feeling is anger.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle with feeling anger. It can be intense and scary sometimes. And sadness can feel like it's going to last forever. And sadness, we need to honor our sadness, just like we need to honor our joy and our peace when we have it. Because these things are fleeting, and they come and they go, and this too shall pass. Yeah. Be realistic. So no perfectionism.
Mm. Yeah.
Be realistic with your expectations on yourself, with those around you. Watch the perfectionism. Stick to a budget. We didn't even touch on financial stress that a lot of people, a lot of families are experiencing with the extra demands on them this time of year. Stick to a budget, because January will come and you don't want that credit bill.
No.
Like
It's
that can be a whopper for some people, and then they spend the next year trying to pay for that season.
Yeah.
So sticking to a budget, yes. Plan ahead. Knowing, okay, this is where we're going to go on this day. This is meal planning. For some people can be very helpful. For some people, they're okay with just spontaneity and they don't need that. But some people need that kind of structure.
Yeah.
Outlined for them. So it's not so overwhelming. You already mentioned this. I'm going to echo it. Learn to say no.
Yes. Yeah.
And not feel guilty. And no is a complete sentence, period.
Yeah.
No excuse needed.
Yeah. And you don't need to explain it or anything. It's just no.
No. Don't abandon healthy habits. There's one of my favorite part of the holidays is all the junk food everywhere. The candies, the gumdrops, the sugar drops, the chocolates, the chips, toffee, all that stuff. Exercise, you can feel a little lazy, but just keep your healthy habits going.
Yeah. Maybe if you're a runner and you don't have time to go for a run, go for a walk. You know, bring your friends with you, or your family, or your dog, or whatever. You know, maybe you're used to going and working out in a gym, but you don't have the time to do it. But maybe you can, I don't know, pile wood while you're at home for somebody, or, you know, kind of keep that healthy routine in there, but it's different. And don't, like you said, Margaret, don't hurt us yourself.
Yeah.
If 2 days you do go off that trail, and I'm guilty of this, I have broken so many diets in my lifetime just because I ate a chocolate bar. And instead of saying, okay, yeah, you weren't, you know, that wasn't a good choice, but it was only one, go back to doing what you were doing. That just opened the floodgates for me every time. And it's something I'm still learning, you know, just because you, you know, kind of get out of your routine a little bit, don't just abandon it completely.
No.
Find a way to get back to it.
Yeah. Take a breather. Just take a pause. If you need to just go sit in your bedroom, in your living room, if the only place you can find peace is the bathroom, then lock the door and just take a breather. Feel your feet in your shoes. Practice presence.
Yeah.
Check in with your expectations, what kind of pressures you might be putting on yourself.
It's funny you say the word presence. I was thinking there's 2 kinds of presents at Christmas.
Ah, yes.
The ones you give, and you being present, the present you give yourself by being present.
Yeah, I didn't even occur to me.
See, and you there, that's that psychic thing happening again.
And this we've already mentioned too, but again, I'm going to echo it and say it again, restating it. Seek professional help if you need to.
Yeah.
You know yourself better than anyone. If you are struggling, reach out and connect with someone who can support and assist you. You're not alone. Nobody is alone.
Yeah. Yeah, there are people who work 24/7, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and all the days of the year, whose job is to be there for people when we need someone. And it's okay. You're not bothering somebody just because it's Christmas Day and you're calling 911.
Yeah.
They can work and they expected to do their job when they were there.
Yeah. And that's it for that list. I do have 2 other lists, but we won't read them because it's 6 minutes after 7.
Oh, okay.
So we need to do our loving kindness meditation.
Mhm.
And this flew by.
It
Come
did
on.
faster than usual.
I know. And next week, I bet it's going to be even faster because we're
Yeah.
going to have different people on and, hearing some awesome music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the YouTube police won't snag it on us.
I hope not.
I know. You'll have to be here live to hear it, I guess, just in case the YouTube police get it.
Yeah. We'll have to write our original Christmas songs, Margaret.
Maybe we'll put out a call for submissions for
Yeah.
next Christmas. We'll invite people to come up with a new Christmas carol.
Yes, so that we can perform it and not get caught by the YouTube police.
Yes. Okay. All right, so we're just going to shift gears for a second. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, please do so. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, you can just find something to fix your stare on for the next 2 minutes. Just allow yourself to be in this space right now. Put all your stresses and worries up on the shelf. Hear the sounds in the room around you. You don't need to control your breathing in any way. Begin to notice any tension you may be holding in your body. Begin to feel that tension start to drain away from you. Feel it drain away from your eyes and your face, through your neck, your shoulders, and down your arms. Feel the tension drain like a liquid down through your body and out through your toes. Now begin to feel your body fill up with love. Imagine a loving white light entering your feet, traveling up through your body, up to your stomach, to your chest, and your arms. Feel it almost bursting through your heart, your fingers, and through the crown of your head. And when you feel embraced in that love, silently repeat the following words to yourself. May I be free from all harm. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from all suffering. May I be happy. May I be free from all disease and physical pain. May I be healthy and strong. And may I be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Now turn your thoughts to this vast world, the huge earth with all its living creatures. Continue to feel that love bursting through your body as you silently say, may all beings be free from all harm. May they be safe and protected. May all beings be free from all harm. May they be happy. May all beings be free from all disease and physical pain. May they be healthy and strong. And may all beings be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Send your love as far out around the world as possible, and just imagine that energy traveling through the earth. Continue to feel that love centered around your heart. Notice the weight of your feet on the floor, feeling yourself in this present moment. And when you are ready, you may slowly open your eyes. We did a double bing.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Vida. That concludes our December 15th, 2021.
Yes.
I look forward to next week. I think it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for joining us and hanging out. And I guess that's it.
Yep. Have a good week, and we'll see everybody next Wednesday.
Yes. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.